Nice having you here as always. Like we say, we're also live on 97.3 Citi FM, so you can join the feed from there wherever you are. It's bound to be an interesting next 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes or so, because the people of Ghana, the sports fraternity, have been asking for the details of the contract of Chris Hughton. How long has he been engaged? How much is he earning? What are the objectives that have been set for him and whatnot? So hopefully today we will get some answers to all these questions that have been posed. Let me start off with you, Nathan. Mr. Hughton is in town, and it's really short notice because he had to bury his dad just about last week, Wednesday. Came down real quick for Atu's funeral on Friday, and then he has an unveiling today, few days after he has his first Black Stars game as head coach. Roller coaster for the man.
Yeah, I think that it's a very interesting way to walk into your first job in a while, first full-time coaching job in a while. He was technical advisor during the World Cup, so maybe you can, I don't know whether you want to call that full-time coaching, I don't know. But the point is that it's been tough for him, you know, having to deal with personal issues, having to get ready for this unveiling. But I'm sure he understands that it comes with the territory. For somebody who's managed in the Premier League, he will understand what roller coaster days mean, he will understand what pressure means, and I'm sure he's looked at it and he will draw some energy for it and say that, okay, this is how we start the job. We start it up-tempo with good rhythm, and then we see what the assignment against Angola will look like. So, yes, I'm sure it's been a very interesting few days for him, just getting accustomed to some of his new surroundings. He's not too new to the environment, but he's now getting to walk into the big seat as Black Stars head coach. So, very interesting way to get into your first few days as Black Stars head coach.
Your thoughts, early thoughts on Chris Hughton being unveiled in Kumasi. The FA have chosen to do this exactly where the game will be played. A lot of Accra journalists felt that maybe it should have been done in Accra so they would have had a chance to question him. Or our Kumasi brothers also always have to deal with coming all the way down to Accra for important assignments.
Exactly. But, I don't see why it should be only Accra, Kumasi. Why not expand? I always say it's the Black Stars. It's not the Accra Stars, not the Kumasi Stars. So I don't see why we have to do it in Accra necessarily or Kumasi necessarily. And this makes logistical sense for me, because if the game is in Kumasi, you can get a lot of things done in terms of, okay, we do that one. He can give us some updates about the squad, that type of stuff. It makes sense because they've had to delay it. It's not like they were doing it, you know, ahead of time. So I'm fine with it. But there's no reason why we couldn't have done it in Tamale, Takrade, or anything like that, or even Cape Coast. So look, I think the location is the least important of the issues here. My main issue when I think about this is, where is Chris Hughton as a coach? His last job didn't go too well. You know, he was, in fact, his failure has what has led Nottingham Forest to success. You know, he started out very poorly. Things were not going well. They're in the relegation zone. They sacked him. Went on a great run, got into the promotion place, and eventually ended up in the Premier League. So that is, he's been quite successful at his previous jobs, but that would definitely be a stain on his career. And you have to ask yourself, where is he in terms of as a coach? Is this for him a chance to redeem himself? Does he really want the job? You have to ask these questions. It's always fair to ask them. I understand he's Ghanaian, no doubt about it, but this is not someone who's lived in Ghana. He played for Ireland, if I'm not mistaken. So does he really have the passion for the job we would want from a Ghanaian? Because his association with Ghana has come fairly late in his career, as far as I know. I'm not talking about his past, but for what his association with Ghana in a professional sense is fairly recent. So it's been interesting to see how that plays out. So is he using the Black Stars as a stepping stone, or is this something he's really wanted to do and he's finally getting the chance? I think these are valid questions to ask, especially because we are going to be paying him a lot of money, probably, because this is a former Premier League coach.
Hopefully today we'll find out exactly how much a lot is a lot.
And considering the economic climate, I don't think Ghanaians will be too happy if we pay him a lot of money and things don't go well. So these are all the questions we need to ask. But I believe that as a coach, he's one of the better coaches we've had in recent years when it comes to the pedigree and the experience, you know, because when we got Milo Van Rijvaak, we complained that his last spell at Thailand didn't end too well. We spoke about his spell at Algeria, where he supposedly didn't know the players' names, according to the players. And we still gave him a chance. And we saw how that turned out. So I'm more confident about Chris Hughton. If you compare him to Milo Van Rijvaak, our last coach, and Otto Addo, who lacked the experience. So I think in terms of quality.
Yeah.
He's one of the best we've had in recent years. I think the only coach I can say recently that can match up to him is, in terms of what they've done, is Avram Grant.
Yeah.
So there's that's good, but his motivation, because remember we had that issue with Avram Grant, so we were talking about, oh, does he really want to be here? He's never in Ghana. There were all these kind of side issues and I hope that we don't hear any of those side issues. That's
Exactly.
why I mentioned it. It's not that I doubt Chris Hughton. It's just that I would hope that these side issues we had with Avram Grant, where he seemed disinterested, won't come up.
Well, we'll see if we can connect with our man on the ground, Evans Ofochuman. So in the next couple of moments, he is currently at the premises where the presser will be happening. So we'll be getting to our man on the ground in a bit. Nathan, Susu raised an interesting point about where Chris Hughton is in his career as a manager. For you, I mean, this whole foray into national team coaching with the Black Stars, after spells with Brighton, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, and others, does this look to you like a change of direction for him now that he is in his, later years in his career, or you feel like this might be a one-off thing to probably jumpstart his club career?
I kind of feel he's moving into the next chapter of his career. I could be wrong, but when I just look at Chris Hughton as a person, and I look at where coaching is now, and I look at the characters involved in, say, even Premier League coaching and European coaching and all of that, I don't see, for example, any team that would want to have Chris Hughton on their short list and say, we need this guy to come help us achieve one thing or the other. I think he's looked at everything and probably realized that, okay, national team coaching is a next chapter. Yeah, it could be a great place. Let's not forget, it's not as demanding in terms of the everyday hands-on work as club football, where you train with players every day. Your assignments are spread out through the year. You are meeting 3-4 times, maybe 5 times. The maximum time you get with the team is during the tournament. You play a maximum of 7-8 games if you go the long haul. So I think he has assessed all his options and he said, okay, let me try national team football. Let's not forget that Chris Hughton and Ghana being in the same sentence is not new. We go back a few years, and every now and again his name gets popped up. This is when he's actually been handed the job. So this is not something that, is just been given to him, or he's that association is new. It's not too new if you kind of understand, the recent history between Chris Hughton as a coach and the potential of handling the Black Stars. That kind of marriage has been in the works for a bit. So I'm not too surprised. But like Susu said, we'll just have to wait and see. For me, I just want to see what it is he will do to this team, especially knowing what he knows. He worked with the team as a technical advisor. He saw a few things. We've seen his first call-up. I'm very curious to see what he will do with this set of players.
Well, talking about curiosity, I'm curious to know exactly what's going on in Kumasi. Evans Ofochuman of Citi Sports is on the ground at the venue where the presser is happening. Evans, if you can hear me, you've been in Kumasi for a minute. Give me a quick sense of the ambience. What is it like among journalists? What is it like among football people? Are there even regular civilians in Kumasi out there to support Chris Hughton? What exactly has it been like so far?
Welcome to the conference hall of the Sementia Golden Mall here at Eija in Kumasi. It's the unveiling of Chris Hughton as the next Black Stars head coach. We know that on the 12th of February 2023, he was announced by the GFA as the head coach of the team. 36 days later, he's been unveiled to the local media here in Kumasi. And, the coach, he arrived in the country last week. He was at the Christianachu burial service. That's last Friday at the State House. He arrived in Kumasi on Sunday morning. And yesterday also he was at the Akwesidai Festival, which is a Sunday festival celebrated by the Ashanti Kingdom once every 6 weeks. Today it's about Chris Hughton. It's Chris Day, as it's been termed here in Kumasi. The local media are here at the conference hall of the SG Mall. And at the moment, Chris Hughton is yet to arrive at this location, though. But we have some members of the Black Stars Management Committee here. There is Alhaji Karim Gruza. He's part of the management team. Also, there is Akwesi Ajiman, also who is the vice chairman of the Black Stars Management Committee here as well. The hall is filled with so many guys from the various media houses here in Ghana. They are here to inquire or ask questions in terms of the vision of the coach and all that. So it's a two-way affair. So we'll get to hear from the Ghana Football Association as to the details of Chris Hughton's contract. How long will he be in office, and how much will he be paid during that duration as well? We'll get to hear from Chris Hughton himself to tell us his vision for the Black Stars, what he hopes to leave at the end of his tenure, and obviously how what went into that 25-man list for the game against Angola. His first game will be against Angola on Thursday before the reverse fixture on the 27th. That's next Monday. So it's quite a very, I should say, room filled with several guys here. It's full media houses. I'm here to support the Supporters Union. Some of the GF officials are yet to also arrive. So at the moment, there is the GFA officials are not here yet, but the setup is also ongoing. The seats are being filled gradually by the local media. And we are just waiting for the coach to arrive and then speak to the various issues. It's going to be a very interesting session as Chris Hughton gets to face the local media for the first time since he was appointed as the Black Stars head coach. He's been around the team for over a year now. Remember that in March 2022, he was the technical advisor for Otoado when they faced Nigeria in that World Cup qualifiers. And after Otoado's successful completion of that task, he was then made to go to the World Cup as the head coach with Chris Hughton as his advisor once more. And so with Otoado resigning from the Black Stars, the GFA felt that continuity was important, and as such made Chris Hughton the head coach of the team. So he knows the team very well, and so the media here are quite interested in asking him what he has gathered from being around the team and what he hopes to also build on since taking over from Otoado. We are picking up signals that very soon the coach will be coming here, and so the media have been asked to take their various seats and wait for the arrival of the coach. So Ben, it's been quite a very, very expectant local media here. Yes, they're expecting the coach to come and address some of the various questions they have for him. And the first time that they get to face him is very important for them as well. It's important for them to also understand how he hopes to take on Angola, and most importantly, the players that missed the World Cup, the likes of Majid Ashmeru, the likes of Joseph Pentil, what went into that decision to try and get them back into the Black Stars? All these are potential questions that the local media here in Kumasi will be looking to ask the coach. So once again, we have been told by the PA here that the coach is on the verge of arriving here at the conference hall of the Semenshia Golden Mall. Atmosphere expectant. The seat, you can see, is ready for the coach to just come and then address the media here. The MC of the day is also here. So we are almost ready to welcome Chris Hughton and his entourage. He arrived here yesterday with his assistant coach, George Boateng, and also the vice president of the Ghana Football Association, that's Mark Addo, who doubles as the management committee chairman of the GFA as well. So it's quite a very, very interesting day as we wait to see if we can get some reactions as well as we wait for the coach to arrive here. Let's try to speak to some of the media here on what they're expecting as well. Your name, sir?
I'm Afriye.
Afriye, talk to me. What are you expecting to hear from Chris Hughton today as it's been unveiled to the Ghanaian populace?
Well, the very last time the Black Stars won a trophy was in '83, so it's like 41 years now. And we're expectant. We want to know what he's got in store for us. He was a technical advisor at the World Cup. We want to know what transpired out there and moving forward, what sort of effect he can bring to the squad.
Well, we've seen similar press conferences where the GFA unveils a coach, and we are told that the contract details are confidential. Are you expecting a similar situation here where the GFA will not be that transparent about the contract details of Chris Hughton?
Well, I'm sure for contract details, all they can tell us about the duration. But we've gotten snippets of information about some details. I'm not worried about that. My concern is what he's got to offer the Black Stars of Ghana, especially in this game against the Palancas Negras of Angola.
Aside that, I know the obvious target for the coach will be to win the next AFCON. Should that be the short-term target that we need to set for the coach?
Well, from what I've seen, he's been told to either win or place in a respectable position for the next AFCON. He's expected to coordinate a lot of the national team duties, all male national team duties. Well, Ghana is a demanding country as far as football is concerned. So I think we are hungry for a trophy now, and we just hope Chris Hughton will lead us there.
Is he the man for the job?
Well, I think after today's press conference, we'll get to know a lot more about his mentality, how he thinks, how he reacts, how he communicates, what his general plans are, his composure, and all of that. So I can make a proper assessment after the program.
Since he was announced as the head coach in February, what have you picked up in terms of the reaction from the Kumasi guys here?
Well, it's a mixed bag. Some say, well, he was part of that bandwagon that's really disappointed at the World Cup. So why do you bring him on board? Some are saying, well, this is an experienced man who's had stints in the Premier League. He's getting close to 70 years. He has nothing to lose or win. So he's the right man. He'll be able to make very tough decisions and all of that. So I think it's all about time. We should give ourselves time. Football, certainly the games will come in fast. How he selects his players, disciplinary issues, his tactics, in-game tactics, and all of that. Well, it's all about time. It's all about time.
I look at his CV. It's very rich, looking at the fact that he's coached in England, in the English Premier League, in the Championship. He's had stints at Newcastle, Brighton. It's quite a rich CV. What do you hope he brings on board with all this experience that he's gathered in the UK?
Well, in addition to the experience, he was also the technical advisor to Coach Otuado at the World Cup. So, yes, in terms of the experience, it's very big. I think that's what we need. Ghana has had history of some very prominent coaches, Avram Grant and the likes. But I think now we need to bring back the love, and it's all about performance. I guess his experience will come good, managing the boys' egos, player management, and all of that. So we are good to go. Time will tell, basically.
Time will tell. Certainly grateful for your time. Yeah. So we are still trying to wait for the Black Stars head coach, Chris Hughton. We are told he's arriving in some few minutes there. I'm joined now by Yawan Pofuankra, a very experienced sports journalist, and he's with the GFA as well. Okay, let me try and pick a thought also on his expectations for the Black Stars head coach.
Yeah, as I've said, Chris obviously is stepping into the shoes of Otuado, but the advantage Chris Hughton has is that he's already had time with the players. He's been in camp, the scouting processes, the politics of player selection, and all of it. So he's not entirely new. He's not a new coach, but he's been given a mandate of officially, and I think he has an advantage and should be able to navigate his way through sometimes treacherous waters. I'm very confident that we won't have controversial times with this coach. You watch him, you see what he's done in the past. He's a former World Cup player himself with Ireland, and I think he would be able to navigate his way very comfortably. It's going to be tough though, but when we hear him this morning, we'll get a sense of what he also expects to deliver as coach of the Black Stars. We're not too sure about the details. There's been a lot of speculation, but I'm sure when he comes in and the FA officially announces, his contract, we'll have full details of what he's supposed to do.
What's one key issue that you hope he addresses today?
Good point. One key issue, he probably will not address issues, but depending on what we ask him, he will stay away from controversy, if you know Chris. So he'll keep it straight, keep it simple, and will try to move away from answers or questions that might put him in trouble. But obviously, selection. People will be asking him, why this player, why not that player? But with his list already out, his job is, cut out for him.
Finally, what should be the targets, the right targets that the GFA should set for Chris Hughton?
I think we've had hints of that already, where the AFCON qualification has already been sealed. Get into the final, trying to win it, qualifying for the next World Cup, obviously. So that gives us a sense that he will be in for a few years, because the World Cup qualifiers will not start for another couple of years at least. But I believe that what he would want to do is to leave a legacy whereby when he's out, he has built a solid team that can continue to win trophies and titles. Otuado has done his bit, but we're still yet to find a fulcrum of the Black Stars that we can call a set team, and I think that is what Chris Hughton would want to do.
Thank you so much, Yao. So that's Yao Pofuankre, a very experienced sports journalist here, also at the conference hall of the SG Mall, as we await the arrival of Chris Hughton for his unveiling ceremony. The local media here expectant. I can see some supporters, union members also arriving here. So all is set now. The key man should be arriving some few moments from now, alongside his technical team members, assistant coaches, and then officials from the Ghana Football Association to address the media on his mission, his vision, and his plans for the Black Stars. And also, importantly, how he will start his tenure against Angola on Thursday in that AFCON qualifier. Let me speak to one more media guys here at the SG Mall. Your name, sir?
Kanu, yeah, I'm Kanu, yeah.
Kanu, talk to me. What are you expecting that Chris Hughton should address today?
Basically, it should be about our inability to win the AFCON for the past 40 years. I mean, the expectations should be on that. For the World Cup, we've been to the World Cup a couple of times, and we know how it feels, and we know how it is to be at the World Cup. But for this generation, I'm sure yourself and myself will be finding it very difficult to talk about winning the AFCON because we've not had the experience. We've not had the experience before. So basically, I'll be expecting him to talk about how Ghana will be able to break that 40-year jinx. It's been a very long time since we last won the AFCON. Obviously, that is what we are all expecting him to address, and how he'll be able to give us a very good squad going forward.
Thank you so much, Kanu. So the Black Stars head coach, Chris Hughton, has arrived here at the conference hall of the SG Mall. He's been accompanied by the communications director of the Ghana Football Association, Henry Asante. So there you have your man, Chris Hughton, in your shot there. He walks to the podium to take his seat and speak to the local media here in Kumasi on his plans for the Black Stars there. So Chris Hughton officially arriving now, Ben, and we are good to go. We are ready to listen to him. What he has for Ghana, here, and the man is ready to speak to us as the supporters union try to also sing and rally some sort of support for the coach. He's the new man now, a new era for the Black Stars, and the ultimate goal will be to win the next AFCON. It's been 41 years since Ghana lifted that trophy. Chris Hughton has been given that mandate according to report we are picking up. He's here to confirm that, and also his long-term plans for Ghana. Can he win us the AFCON? Time will surely tell, but the moment is almost here as we get to hear from Chris Hughton now.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Ghana National Supporters Union. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are set, and we're going to have the official unveiling of the coach of our senior national team, the Black Stars. Already seated, as you can see, is the public relations manager of Ghana Football Association in the person of Mr. Henry Ashanti. And of course, the man of the day, Chris Hughton. Without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, I hand over the microphone to the public relation officer, GFA, to take over. Thank you. Hello, 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 hello. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We will be as brief as possible. You're welcome to the SG Mall, where this morning we are unveiling the new coach of the Black Stars in the person of Mr. Chris Hughton. We were here in Kumasi yesterday, but on a different mission. We spent the day with the good people of Kumasi, the king, and when he celebrated Akwesidai, and we are back this morning to spend time with you. My name is
Well, before I invite your questions, I would like to run you through the most important part of today's program. So, through the Ghana Football Association, or in conjunction with the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Mr. Chris Hughton will be the next coach of the Black Stars from now until December 31, 2024. Mr. Chris Hughton will be the next coach of the Black Stars from now until December 2024. He will work with two assistants already. We know Masudi Dramani and George Boateng were with him during the World Cup in Qatar. They were assisting Otto Addo, and Chris was also in the role as the technical advisor, but today he takes over as the head coach of the team. Now, for the first time, the head coach and his two assistants will have their contracts running concurrently. What it means is that the contract that Mr. Chris Hughton has signed, his two assistants have both signed the same contract, which would run until December 31, 2024. The two parties have agreed that the terms of this contract shall be subject to a performance review. Obviously, we know we are on a good course, so once we come to the end of the